Well, let's tackle the idea of using a halfway home when you're decluttering any space in your home. Why and how you should use it when you're decluttering, how it can help you speed up your decluttering process immensely, plus a few tips to help you avoid using the halfway home as a crutch. So let's first start by talking about what a halfway home is. And a halfway home is essentially just kind of a holding zone for items that are kind of those maybe items. So I think a lot of us will declutter any space in our home, and a lot of things end up going back into that space because we might use them. They're maybes, and we're not really ready to part with them yet because we feel like we might still get some use out of them one day. However, more often than not, those items end up getting pushed to the back of your closet, of your cabinets, of your drawers, and they're never used or touched again until you go through the decluttering process of that space the next time. A halfway home pulls those things out of that space to make that space clearer and more open and more usable. And you take those maybe items and you put them into a box or a tub or a tote somewhere in your home. You put a label on that tub so that you know what's in there, and then you set a reminder on your phone letting you know that those items need to be purged in 3 to 6 months is usually what I recommend. So then when that 3 to 6 months is up, then you can take those box of maybe items that you haven't used in the past 3 to 6 months, put them in your car, and drop them off at the donation center. So a halfway home really can help you speed up the decluttering process. So I think that you should use a halfway home pretty much anytime you declutter any space. I think that they allow us to make quicker decisions. They allow us to be a little bit harder and tougher on our stuff so that we aren't keeping those maybe items around as often. We're just getting them out of that space, and we're learning to kind of live and practice living without them, without having them there. Plus, getting them out of that space really can give you that feel of how that space can function without that item. Maybe you have 2 spatulas in your kitchen and you want to see if you can live with just one. Well, put one of them in your halfway home. Maybe you have 3 black sweaters in your closet and you want to see if you can live with just 1 or 2 of them. Take the one that you've not worn very often and put it in your halfway home. Just remember to label those halfway home totes and then set that reminder on your phone or write it on your calendar to purge those items, because a halfway home can become clutter as well. So a halfway home can really help you to speed up your decluttering process. When you're going through things, I think we've all been there where we pull things out and we end up putting them back into that same space thinking, I think that we're still going to use that. We might need that in the future. Maybe I will reach for that now. Now that I know it's there, maybe I will reach for that piece of clothing or that kitchen utensil or whatever it is. But more often than not, we don't ever reach back in there to use that item. And if you're anything like me, then clearing a space is really the main goal. Getting those items out, having a clear space to work with, just creating a home that's peaceful and that's functional, because we don't want to have a bunch of stuff around our home that we're not using. Before I used the halfway home, I would shove those maybes back in there, and I felt like I was constantly decluttering the same space over and over again. I felt like I was constantly coming back to those same items that would be maybes over and over again, and I would never let them go because I just had those sentimental ties, or they would pull at my heartstrings, or I knew that I had spent money on them and I didn't want to let them go. But putting them into that kind of like that halfway home, letting them go, letting them kind of take that first step on their way out of my house really allowed me to make bigger strides in decluttering every space in my home. There are a few things that I think we need to be careful with when we use a halfway home. We can't put everything in the halfway home. The point of the halfway home is for those maybe items, the items that you're really struggling to let go of. They're not for those things that you know need to go. They're not for the trash. They're not for the donation center that you're like, yep, I don't need this. This is a duh item. I need to get rid of this. I don't need to keep this. Those items need to leave right now. But the halfway home is really good at housing those items that we're really struggling to let go of. because instead of seeing them over and over again day after day in our closets and our drawers and our cabinets and being reminded of, oh, I should use that. Oh, I haven't used that in forever. They're already halfway out. They're already in a tote. We're not even gonna go look at that in that tote. But I think that we need to be careful and limit ourselves to our halfway home. So in every space that you declutter, I recommend having only one halfway home for that space. So when I declutter my kitchen, I only have one tote that I will allow myself to keep in my garage as my halfway home. When I declutter my closet, I have one tote that I will allow myself to keep as a halfway home. Now, as those items are in that halfway home, you can go out and grab anything that you need. It's still in your home. It's not left yet. You can get anything out that you feel like you need again. And they're there for the taking. But at the end of that 3 months or 6 months, whatever you decide is best for you, then the best thing you can do is to not open the tub, not open the box, just put it straight into your car and take it to the donation center. Because if you have not needed it in the past 3 to 6 months, chances are you're probably not going to need it in the future. All right, I know that this was a really quick video. I'm going to try and put out a few of these here and there with just some really quick decluttering tips. So if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I share videos just like this, plus decluttering, cleaning, and organizing motivation. I will see you guys in my next video. I hope that you have a great day. Bye, guys.
I lose my breath whenever I see you. You stole my heart, what is it that you do?